When one starts one's journey, one doesn't know which way one's going. And there was no planning in my journey, even when I became a lawyer. And I've said that earlier. It was all fortuitous and it all fell into place. So this was also a great experience. Being a puny judge in a state high court is one among several. Delhi High Court has fortunately had many women judges. Before me, we had a fewer ones. But after me, there were several others who came in, and happily so. And I mean those who came as practicing lawyers as also those who came from the district judiciary. But when you move further up your journey and start, going up the ladder, so to say, from first 5 to maybe the number 1 before the chief is the final senior most judge in the court on the administrative side, your journey takes a different turn. You learn how to handle administrative matters, not just court. You have to handle people. You have to handle staff. You have to handle committees. Those are experiences that were put to good use when you become a Chief Justice of the State High Court.
Was it tougher being a Chief Justice
I didn't feel the difference, to be honest. By then, I think one had learnt the ropes. It was only going to a different state. People have this impression that Telangana would only be Telugu-speaking state, which must be dispelled. Not for a moment did I or my family feel the discomfiture, for the simple reason that they speak Urdu, they speak Hindi, they speak English and Telugu. And it's not as if you're left high and dry and there's a communication gap, not at all. And in any case, in the High Court, the speaking language remains English. So it's just that maybe when the documents come across you, if it's a FIR, if it's a revenue record, and there are translations required, it's different. But beyond that, I don't think it was different. It was a much smaller court compared to where I came from, in the sense the strength was less. By where we started when I was there, we were 14. Today, there's a strength of almost 38 or 39, touching 40. The total strength is about 42 there. So I didn't feel the difference. I thought it was, and we were very cohesive. Incidentally, that was COVID time, so we were not meeting ever so often. Mostly things were being done virtually. In that phase of 21 January to August 21, we were going through the second phase we had entered into, and that was critical for the entire country. So we're all working virtually.
But there were a lot of differences also. I mean, in the Delhi High Court, which is considered one of the most premier high courts in the country,
right,
to go to a much smaller, newer Telangana High Court, where you were, I think, except for one, the only female judge.
No, I had another colleague who had come from UP, except her. Well, the gentlemen, perhaps initially, they never shared it with me, by the way. When I came in, they may have trepidations that they had a woman Chief Justice, but it never showed it. So the only thing I did to break the ice was that when I came there, I met all my brothers with their spouses, and any family member. I'd invited them over for a cup of tea by turns, just to understand how that, what are the nuances of the court, what is the expectation, and what is the demand on a Chief Justice. And they were very cooperative, and each one gave their respective inputs. That came of good use to me. I was able to keep in mind factors which they thought needed to be addressed. And in that short period of 8 months, we're able to do a lot with the support of my colleagues, including appointing judges, including increasing the strength of judges, including disposals, and so on and so forth. So really, though I may have come from a larger court in the sense of we have a lot of more matters than just land, revenue, family court and criminal, because of a lot of IPR, a lot of commercial litigation. But then let's not forget that Telangana, particularly Hyderabad, is the IT city of the country, and they have a lot of international firms there. So their commercial work was picking up at that time. It'll constantly pick up and go higher. So they'll also be perhaps handling all of this. It's a matter of time that the volumes will increase.